at your fingertips.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us today for Business Express 981. Check your time is 6:31. That's 29 minutes before 7. Rotus is here. My name is Valentine. Welcome to Business Express 981 today. Hey, Rotus. Good morning.
Good morning, Valentine. Good morning, Lagos and beyond. And good morning to our special guest as well. Good morning to ARM.
Good morning, all. Hi,
morning.
Hi, Rotus. Hi, Valentine. How's everyone doing?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Always a pleasure.
Conversation. You can be part of this conversation by sending a comment to WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. That's the WhatsApp number. You can also watch live on YouTube. We're streaming this program live on youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. Use the hashtag Business Express 981 to send your messages to Twitter at smooth981FM. Rotus?
Great stuff. So we're joined, of course, by Timmy Peters. Timmy Peters is an analyst with ARM Securities. And we'll be looking at the brewery sector. I mean, after all, we just came off a holiday and most Nigerians were resting. And I take it that so Nigerians were purchasing beverages of choice to relax this weekend with their family. So, I mean, Timmy, what's the lay of the land when it comes to the brewery sector? What have you been seeing?
Well, you're right. I mean, this is kind of a holiday period when everyone goes to, I mean, you see maybe a little spike during this period, Easter holiday. It's been a long weekend, so you would see people, relax with a beer or two. But looking at the landscape in general, I've said it previously, it's not looking too good for them. It's they're getting attacked pretty much by both sides. On the demand side, we're just creeping out of a recession. There's a lot of unemployment, inflation is high. So consumer wallets are tight, so that's affecting demand. And then also on their cost side, they're being affected by inflation, by FX, and also excise duties are eating into all their revenues, their revenue and profits as well. So there's not much wiggle room for breweries there. And it's not an attractive space, to be honest. But then you've seen Guinness, they performed so well this year. I mean, they're almost 80% up year to date, one of the best performing stocks. And so it just shows that even in such a tight, unattractive space like breweries, there are still some tactical plays that you can look out for there.
Great stuff. I noticed Guinness was one of the best performing stocks this quarter. But was there anything fundamental behind that, or or was that just speculation, or what do you think? What do you think was behind it?
I was pretty surprised because they are my recommendation from the brewery sector, but then there's really nothing driving breweries as a whole. Because if you look at the other breweries, we've seen Nigerian breweries they're getting beaten down bad. Champion as well, also having a rough time. So it's not like breweries on the whole are rising. It's just Guinness. I mean, I think they're well positioned to do the best out of everyone else there. Like I said, they're focusing on higher margin areas, moving away from mainstream beer, looking at spirits and all that. And it could just be people noticing they've got a larger portfolio as well. So people noticing maybe they're well positioned to do the best there, and people wanting to just, if they're looking at breweries, they are probably the best player right now. So it might just be that. And you know how things start, if one company is doing well, everyone wants to get in, and it just snowballs into probably what we're seeing right now.
Great stuff. Thank you for that. Are there still challenges with, religious attitudes towards alcohol? There was news, remember last year, where the Kano State or the Kaduna State government, one of them made news where they had pictures of them destroying, hundreds of thousands of bottles of alcohol. Meanwhile, if you look at FAC allocations and what each state gets from revenue, it's what goes into that pot for the IGR for states is taxes from companies like brewery sector. So is that still, despite all the challenges the brewery sector is facing, when you think about those, religious, restrictions in some states on alcohol, is that still a challenge for them?
Yeah, of course, that would still be a challenge. It just puts a limit to their market. It does make things harder for them, especially like in those states you mentioned. And again, especially the point where they're being constrained enough, this is another constraint that they could really do without. But again, I mean, they do have a big portfolio. They have like their non-alcoholic beverages, their malts and all that. So I'm thinking, so that's probably something they're pushing more in those regions where they can't, focus on their usual alcoholic drinks.
Great stuff. And a reminder to everyone that ARM Stock Trade is an online platform you can use to buy stocks. And if you bought Guinness through ARM Stock Trade, well, good for you. So your portfolio, you should have seen an upside on your portfolio. Temi, so what's the outlook? I mean, this is April. We've started the new second quarter of the year. If you look ahead, do you see things getting any better? I mean, Nigeria's, I think so we came out of recession Q4, 0.11% growth. Oil prices have appreciated this quarter back to pre-pandemic levels. So I think it's expected that Nigeria's GDP first quarter 2021 should be positive. Do you see any of this filtering to the brewery sector? Do you expect things to improve for them, or do you just see them flatlining and staying where they are, I guess, for the quarter ahead or maybe even for the year?
I would say, I mean, if you look at it on a year-on-year basis, they might actually show some improvement, because if you think this time last year was when we were going to lockdown, and we saw a sharp drop in their numbers at the end of Q2. And obviously there's no lockdown this time, so there will surely be an improvement there when you look at it year on year. But still going ahead, it's still going to be tough for them. They're still, you mentioned positive things, but then on negative side, like inflation is still expected to rise. This higher oil prices that you talked about will increase transport prices, and that's going to be seeing inflation rise. There's still FX issues to consider. A lot of this is imported, and also consumer wallets. This GDP growth trickle down into the real economy. And you saw the last unemployment numbers, a third of eligible people are unemployed. Until we start seeing a sharp drop in those numbers, until we see consumer wallets start to, fatten again, then it's not going to be too pretty an outlook for breweries.
Well, Ben on WhatsApp wants to know what's driving the price of Guinness.
Yeah, I already asked Timmy that, so we've touched on that already. There's nothing really fundamental.
No, nothing really.
Yeah, nothing really fundamental driving that. Just speculation.
Remember, you can send those messages to WhatsApp 0809-444-0981. Temi is our guest from ARM Securities. We're live on YouTube, so you can watch as well as leave a comment on that platform.
Fantastic. So Temi, you've mentioned price increases a lot. You've mentioned inflation. How much room do the players in the brewery sector have to raise prices? I mean, do they have any room at all, or are they just stuck?
It's because, I mean, when you have so many unemployed people and consumer wallets are tight, there's not that much room, but they do have some room. They have increased prices this year. I know previously there was an issue with one of them not wanting to increase prices, and it's a case of if one doesn't increase price and others do, then everyone else loses market share. So it was a game of chicken for a while. But with how their numbers have been hit last year, I think everyone was on board with the price increase we saw just last month. But if for any further increases, I don't know. Like I said, the room is small. There's not that much room to increase. When you see so many people unemployed, you see, spending is low. There's really so much you can do on that side. So I think, again, their margins are still going to be tight for a while.
And I take it, you mentioned some of the pressure they were feeling is from, I guess, the excise taxes and duties from government. Because of government's own revenue challenges, there's no chance that they take off those excise taxes, right? Those duties and taxes, they are, for now, they're here to...
Probably. They did, when we were on the conference call, they did mention they're going to have discussions with government. I would be surprised because, the government is here hustling with us, so I would be surprised if they do reduce them. Probably no increase going forward, but I would be surprised if they reduce that because, again, government looking for revenue any way they can, so I'm sure this is an important part of their revenue.
Tough situation all around. It's just tough. You can see what happens when a country is facing revenue challenges. It now switches to businesses and tries to make money from them. Those businesses in turn have their own pressures, and they are stuck. You're getting pressure from government with taxes. You can't really pass it on to consumers. Consumers are also not able to buy as much.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's not easy. You mentioned Guinness was a pick. Do you have any picks outside of Guinness? Are there any other breweries?
No, it'll be Guinness.
That you like?
No, it'll be Guinness. Like I mentioned, they've got I like the look of their portfolio. You know, they've got a broad portfolio there. They seem more, I want to say nimble. Nimble is the word I want to use. And yeah, I'm going to focus, I think, because their margins, I mean, everyone suffered a fall in margins, but I think theirs were the least depressing. So yeah, it seems like they're well positioned as well to do the best, yeah.
And it's important to make this point, Timmy. I think it's important for anybody who is purchasing stocks. I guess it's best to have a long-term view, right? Because not too long.
Yes.
Yeah, Guinness was getting hammered. The stock was getting hammered, and now they posted this recovery. So I guess, I don't know if you can talk about the importance of having a long-term view so you can ride out downturns or downtimes in stocks.
Oh, yes. It's very important because, like, obviously they're doing well now, but it gets to a point everyone's realizing everyone wants to take their profits home. So it's looked at getting beat up. So that's also why it's important to have an idea before you go in. You have an idea of what your fundamental understanding of this company, not just in for the ride, but then understanding why you're getting in the benefits of this company. And obviously, if you're not well versed there, it's good to speak to someone, you know, stockbroker, obviously at ARM Securities. We send out stock recommendations. Brokers are always available to answer questions on stocks. We have reports on a number or majority of these big stocks as well. So just to give you an idea of why we have a recommendation on a company or what the outlook is on a company, that can help inform your judgment. So you're not swayed by market movement, because again, Guinness are doing well now, but you know, I can promise you it won't be long until they start to suffer declines when everyone wants to take their profits as well.
Sounds
well
good.
Well said. And again, armstocktrade.com, you guys can pick up, hop on that platform and sign up. And I subscribe to ARM's newsletters. I get all of them. I get the recommendations. They are very, very thorough and well informed. So I'll encourage viewers that are listening to sign up. It just gives you a better knowledge of what's going on in the markets, and they have a wide range of coverage. So you guys should definitely sign up for that. Check that out.
And as we always say on Business Express 981, do your due diligence before you make your investments. Tammy Peters, thank you so much for being a part of this show. Thank you for your insightful comments and observations.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Rotus.
Have a good day.